All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to make a quick video and talk about a guntuber, YouTuber that passed recently. A lot of y'all know who this is. I'll refer to him as PH because I don't want to mention his name because they posted a video, and that's what we want to talk about for a minute. And I do want to pay my respects to the man. He was a very nice guy, very educational in nature and how he presented his videos on the GunTube community. And I really thought a lot of him as a person, but there was some things that he talked about because he made a video and he talks on that video that he posted yesterday about if he passes to post that video. And the things that he talks about, I just kind of want to talk about for a second because I feel like it's really sad that you're fixing to die and you create a video talking about your death. And I think he did it very bravely. I will commend him for that. And like I said, I do respect him. I respect his channel. That's why I'm not mentioning his name. That's why I'm not going to mention any names or his channel name or anything else, because I respect what his brother asked that no religious or political views be mentioned in the comments. But that kind of blew my mind, though, that you got somebody that's going into eternity and they ask for people not to mention religious or political views in the comments. And you're fixing to die and you know it. And there's no mention of your faith, of eternity. And I get it. He may have been an atheist. We all have the right to be an atheist, to decide what we think is right. He may have been some other faith, whatever. I don't know. He may have believed in reincarnation or whatever. But it's just sad to me because I've seen in the GunTube community, I've seen a lot of people are Christian, and that's good. And I'm not against people that aren't, that are in the gun community. I would say that the majority of legal gun owners are Christian, but there's a big portion that are not as well, and that's fine. I mean, I'm glad to have people in the community of faith and the ones that don't have faith. I wish they all had faith, but that's not for me to decide. That's for each individual person. But what I do think is sad is here's a guy that we've all looked up to and we've watched his videos and we've laughed at some of his content. He's posted some really cool content. He's posted some other content that was kind of boring, and that's normal. I do the same thing, I'm sure, for a lot of you. But you got this guy that's fixing to die, and not one thing is mentioned about eternity. And I find that striking. And I guess my hope is that he was a Christian, that he was saved, because the Bible says, Jesus said that if you deny me before men, I will deny you before my Father. Or my Father will deny you entry into heaven, basically. And so we know that in order to be a true Christian, you have to be willing to share your faith, at least to some regard. I'm not saying you have to get on YouTube and you have to broadcast it and you have to get on the streets and start hollering at people. I'm not saying that. But we have to share our faith in some form or fashion. We have to be willing and bold enough to profess Christ to other people that are in our lives, especially people we're close to. If we deny that faith, then we don't have it to begin with, is the way I think about it. But I just think it's sad, and I just wanted to mention, I just hope people will stand up for what they believe in and be willing to say, Jesus said that the Father has given me judgment to judge those in the end time. So when we're all stand before God, it'll be Jesus judging us based off our faith and how we proclaimed Jesus. It's not that proclamation that saves us, it's Jesus that saves us. But if we've been saved by Jesus, then we will have boldness that he gives us to proclaim that gospel and those thoughts of salvation and believing in him that gets us to heaven alone, not our goodness, not our morality, not our education, but Jesus alone that gets us into heaven. So that's so important. I want to make sure that I always interject some of that into whatever I do in life, whether it's YouTube, whether it's teaching Sunday school or work, people I work with. I don't try to force it down people's throats, but I will always interject Christ into what I do because I think it's a must. I think a Christian must do that. It's just the same way with politics. I don't see how people can be a Christian and not have moral, biblical, political views. I don't see how people can be a Christian and not have spiritual, religious viewpoints that they share. How can they do those things? And how can you be a Christian and not have a political viewpoint, or not have a spiritual viewpoint, or a religious viewpoint? You can't be a Christian and not have those things. And some of the world has kind of gone off this thing where they think they can stand for nothing and still be a Christian. And I don't think that's in the Bible at all. I think that you have to make a stand. You have to be bold. If you're a Christian, there's no way you can be that without being those things. So that's kind of my thoughts. I respect the guy, and it was sad when his brother got up and said, we don't want any religious, I think it was religious or political viewpoints. And I'm sorry if I don't say it exactly like he said it, but he said something about along those lines. And the guy was talking that passed on the video, saying that he had passed and he was going to post this when he passed, and didn't mention anything about eternity. That's just so sad. And we'll go ahead and mention another channel. And out of respect for these channels, I'm not trying to belittle the channels. I'm trying to share a thought and a principle. But there's a certain huge channel. We all know it. And if you watch gun videos, you know this channel. But let's just say the Ranch channel. We all know what that is. But I seen when his brother, I think, passed of cancer, I seen videos that made me believe that he is a religious person, that it seemed to come across that he is a Christian and that his family does go to church at least occasionally and that he's a believer. But what was sad to me is even on his channel, he likes to say that he don't want to share religious or political viewpoints on his channel. And I'm like, how can you be a Christian and not share religious or political viewpoints that line up with the Bible? How can you stand for those things and not share those in your life? And one of the biggest things you're doing in your life, your YouTube channel is your life, as far as providing for your family and stuff. And you're not going to share any of your political or spiritual viewpoints. And although he seems to be religious, I don't know that he's mentioned Jesus in a gospel type salvation way on his channel since it started over 10 years ago. I don't know that he's mentioned Jesus in a religious type of way or in a Jesus saves kind of way on his channel the entire time, even though, like I said, I think he's someone that claims to be Christian, someone that claims to be saved. I don't think he's mentioned Jesus in that way on that channel the entire time. And he has millions of subscribers, millions. He's able to reach as many people as Billy Graham was, and yet he's not mentioned anything spiritual. And I just feel like we, as Christians in this gun community that love guns, and I say that because there's a lot of Christians that have guns. Most Christians have guns. That's one of the reasons why the war for independence happened in the 1700s, is because we wanted to be free to serve God as Protestants. A lot of them were Protestants, and they wanted to worship God the way they felt like was right and not be forced by a Catholic church or taxed and this and that and the other. They wanted freedom, okay? And that's one reason why a lot of Christians do own weapons, because we don't ever want that freedom taken away to believe and think what we want to think, right? I mean, that's why we do it. And so the majority of Christians, and it's unfortunate that this nation has declared a lot of Christian men as radical or extremists, just Christian gun owners as extremists in some form. And we're the most, we're the biggest protectors of this country and of the things that this nation was founded on, is Christian religious gun owners. We are the biggest safety net for this entire country, I believe. From invasion from other countries, from ideals that will destroy the nature of this country and the freedom of this country. We're the biggest safety net, and yet we're looked at and viewed by some of people in our government as extremists, which makes no sense. We would do nothing but try to save this nation, not hurt it and harm it in any way. We just want to keep our kids with the right kind of morality and the right kind of truth in their hearts. That's all we want. We're not extremists. We don't want to hurt anybody. We just want to protect. That's all we're here for, right? So it's kind of sad that we're getting viewed that way. But I just want to share my thoughts. I mean, I think it was sad. Let me know what you think below in the comments. Share any things you believe or whatever. And And I welcome all atheists or Catholics, or, and I'm a Protestant, more Baptist than anything, but I'm just a Bible believer. Let's just put it that way. I'm a Bible believer, but I welcome any denomination or any belief or even atheists to my channel to comment or say what they want to say. But I've even had some hateful comments toward me about me saying God bless at the end of my channel, which I think is sad, but I've got to put Christ into everything that I do in my life to some degree. There's nothing that's going to stop me from that. I would rather die than have to stop doing that. And I know these kind of videos don't get much views, especially if I mention religious or thoughts into the title. They're not going to get many views, and that's okay. I don't mind that, but I still want to share my thoughts, and I want to make sure y'all understand where I stand. But it's very sad to me. This guy passed, no mention of eternity. His brother mentions after he gets done speaking that they don't want no religious comments or anything like that. Leave religion out of the comments. And I'm like, I want to kind of unsubscribe from the channel now, even though I thought a lot of this guy, because it's like, you're telling people they can't say God bless. And I just, a lot of people were saying God bless his family and stuff like that in the comments. And they were basically saying not to say that. And I was like, what? You don't want people praying for his family? Like, that makes no sense. But anyway, I do think it's sad that a lot of these people that even claim to be Christian and are religious, they want to keep religion out of their YouTube. And what's the difference in a Christian singer that gives up singing Christian music and goes to sexual music and sells out? I mean, we're either sold out for Christ or we're sold out for what we believe in. Let's just put it that way. We're sold out for what we believe in, or we're sold out to something that else that we believe in, that whether it be evil or good, we're sold out to something. What are we sold out to? You can't be both. You can't be sold out to what's right and good and then sold out to something selfish and personal and to power and popularity. You've got to be, if you're a Christian, you got to be sold out to Christ. You've got to be. There's just no way around it. Anyway, leave your thoughts and comments below. God bless. Have a great day. Sorry for ranting for so long. I will leave a warning in the title just so people don't watch this thinking they're going to get some awesome gun content or whatever, even though this is as important as anything that I talk about. God bless and have a great day.